Melania Trump. Great to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
I guess the first thing is congratulations.
I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady.
And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I file a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies. And I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want
She doesn't care about that.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she doesn't.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah,
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
Melania Trump just made history with one of the biggest defamation lawsuit wins ever, securing a jaw-dropping $900 million settlement against The View and its co-host Sunny Hostin. This isn't just a victory for her, it's a turning point for media accountability, sending a powerful message that reckless, agenda-driven attacks on public figures will come with consequences. For years, The View has operated under the belief that they could say whatever they wanted without repercussions, smearing guests, politicians, and even former first ladies with outright lies, all under the guise of opinion. But now, their unchecked slander has finally caught up with them.
Here's some news for you. The former First Lady has been noticeably absent on her husband's campaign trail, but she just made a stop on Fox News to promote her new memoir. Apparently, she's answered personal and political questions. Take a look.
American people need to decide what they really want. Maybe some, strong tweets, but everything else great for this country.
So what do you love most about your husband?
His being, his humor, his personality, his kindness. He's very special. His positivity, his energy, it's unbelievable. So we have a beautiful relationship.
What do the two of you like to do for fun if you're not working?
To have dinner, sometimes quiet dinner or dinner with friends and listen to the music, all kind of different musics.
I hear he likes to be the DJ.
He likes to be the DJ, and it's a very fun night when he does that.
That thing needs a left track. It needs a left track.
And the financial blow they just suffered might be enough to take the entire show down for good. It all started when Sunny Hostin, in her usual smug, self-righteous fashion, took it upon herself to psychoanalyze Melania Trump on live television, claiming, without a shred of evidence, that Melania hates her husband and only pretends to love him for financial gain. It was an absurd accusation, but that didn't stop Sunny from stating it as fact, as if she had some inside knowledge of the Trump marriage. And because this is The View, where the co-hosts constantly echo each other's unchecked claims, nobody even challenged her. They all just nodded along, treating her words as gospel, as if spreading lies about the former First Lady was just another day at the office. But this time, they messed with the wrong person. Melania is no stranger to being dragged through the mud by the media. She spent years being portrayed as cold, detached, and opportunistic, with the press acting like she's nothing more than an accessory to Donald Trump. But enough was enough. She refused to let The View get away with publicly assassinating her character for ratings, and she wasted no time in lawyering up. Her legal team hit back hard, filing a defamation lawsuit that laid out, in meticulous detail, exactly how The View had crossed the line from opinion into outright falsehoods meant to damage her reputation. The legal battle was intense, stretching over months as The View and ABC scrambled to defend themselves. They tried to argue that their comments were protected under free speech, but the evidence against them was overwhelming. Melania's lawyers demonstrated how The View had a pattern of targeting conservative women, pushing damaging narratives about them while conveniently avoiding similar scrutiny of left-leaning figures. They brought receipts, examples of past defamatory statements, interviews where the hosts doubled down on false claims, and proof that their reckless rhetoric wasn't just off-the-cuff banter, but a deliberate attempt to smear people they didn't like.
I have to say, I was surprised when she mentioned his sense of humor. But I'm going to leave that alone and ask you all the question, will the candidate spouses getting involved like she just did?
What?
That's what it says. That's what it says. And you know, this is my job.
Yeah.
So I'm reading it.
Yeah.
As I said, as she just did, will it make a difference here?
Well, I think when you hear Doug Emhoff, the vice president's, husband, speak about their relationship, I think it's very touching. He is behind her 100%. He's very loving. He spoke at the DNC, and I think he described a person that people wanted to know more about in person. I'm reluctant to comment on other people's marriages because I don't want anybody to comment on mine. But they've been married 19 years. And in my experience, people that have been married that long are not necessarily polar opposites, right? They have a lot of commonality. And so I think these two are simpatico. I remember that when Joy interviewed Melania on her show in 2011, she backed her husband's birther claims.
That's right.
That was on your show.
That was on her show. She questioned Barack Obama's citizenship.
A show that they took away from me. Go ahead.
But Joy's over it. It's fine.
But I'm not bitter.
You were fired.
Go ahead.
She did that even though she wasn't originally a citizen of this country.
When the verdict finally came in, it was clear that the jury wasn't buying The View's excuses. $900 million in damages. It was an unprecedented ruling, one that will go down in history as one of the most expensive defamation payouts ever. And for ABC, it's nothing short of a financial catastrophe. The View has been one of their flagship shows for decades, but this lawsuit might just be the nail in the coffin. Legal analysts are already saying the network may have no choice but to cancel it altogether, as the financial burden, coupled with the damage to their reputation, is simply too much to recover from. And what about Sunny Hostin? Let's just say she's probably not sleeping well at night. Not only did her reckless words cost her network nearly $1 billion, but she's now facing intense scrutiny from all sides. There are reports that ABC executives are furious, considering whether she should be fired to mitigate the damage. And even if she somehow keeps her job, she's lost whatever credibility she once had. For years, she's positioned herself as the moral authority, the voice of reason who holds powerful figures accountable. But now, she's the one responsible for one of the biggest defamation losses in television history. Who's going to take her seriously after this? Melania, on the other hand, is walking away from this battle stronger than ever. For too long, she's been dismissed and underestimated, treated like she was just along for the ride in Donald Trump's political career. But this lawsuit has shattered that perception. She fought back and won. Big time. She didn't just get an apology or a retraction. She got a settlement so massive that it might just take down an entire show. And in doing so, she set a precedent that could change the entire media landscape. The ripple effects of this case are already being felt across the industry. If The View can be taken down for defamation, what about all the other media outlets that have built their brands on slandering public figures? Who's next? You can bet that lawyers for other celebrities and political figures are paying close attention, realizing that they no longer have to sit back and let the media destroy their reputations unchecked. And now, as the dust settles, the aftermath of this historic lawsuit is unfolding in real time. ABC executives are scrambling behind closed doors, desperately trying to figure out their next move. The network has already taken a massive financial hit, and industry insiders say that advertisers are quietly pulling out, not wanting to be associated with a show that just cost its parent company nearly $1 billion. Some reports even suggest that The View's days are officially numbered. There's serious talk of canceling the show entirely, or at the very least, doing a massive overhaul that involves firing the most problematic hosts. And let's be real, at the top of that list Sunny Hostin. Sunny has been suspiciously quiet ever since the verdict came down. Normally, she's the first to double down when she's called out, launching into long-winded, self-righteous defenses about how she's just speaking her truth. But not this time. This time, she's been noticeably absent from social media, ducking interviews and avoiding the public eye altogether. And honestly, can you blame her? She's not just looking at professional disgrace. There's a real possibility that she could be let go from the network entirely. ABC has to weigh its options, and if firing her means salvaging what's left of The View's reputation, then she might be sacrificed for the greater good. Meanwhile, the other hosts are reportedly terrified. This lawsuit wasn't just a financial loss, it was a warning shot. If Melania Trump was willing to go after them and win this big, who's next? Because let's not forget, The View has a long history of spewing reckless commentary about high-profile figures. And now that the floodgates have opened, other powerful individuals might feel emboldened to take legal action as well. There are already whispers that other lawsuits could be in the works. After all, this wasn't just about Melania. The show has made a habit of trashing public figures, spreading misinformation, and framing it as hot takes. But now that one of their victims has successfully fought back, others might follow suit. And let's not overlook the sheer humiliation of it all. For years, The View has portrayed itself as the moral authority on everything. Politics, culture, relationships, you name it. The co-hosts have built their brand on lecturing others, tearing people down, and acting as if they're the final word on truth and justice. But this lawsuit has flipped the script entirely. Now, they're the ones being held accountable. Now, they're the ones being exposed as reckless, biased, and frankly, unprofessional. They spent so much time branding themselves as fearless truth-tellers, but when it came time to face the truth about their own actions, they folded. Melania, on the other hand, is thriving. This lawsuit wasn't just about money, it was about respect. And she got it. She proved that she's not some passive political spouse who can be dragged through the mud without consequences. She took on one of the most powerful daytime talk shows in America and won. And now, she's the one with the power. While The View is in full-blown crisis mode, Melania is sitting comfortably, knowing that she just set a precedent that will make every media personality think twice before using her name as a punchline again. This case has sent shockwaves through the media industry. Legal teams across the board are now scrambling to reassess the risks of unchecked commentary. Shows like The View might finally have to start practicing actual journalism, instead of just running their mouths with zero accountability. And if they don't, well, Melania just proved exactly what happens when they cross the line. The next few weeks will be critical. Will ABC actually pull the plug on The View? Will Sunny Hostin be forced to make a groveling apology? Will more lawsuits follow? One thing's for sure, this is a reckoning that The View never saw coming. And the world is watching to see just how deep this fallout goes.